So there's the one I made for the first video that I didn't record. Here's the one that I just tried to quick sketch out, and I made Asia way too small. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna do a little practice. This will even be good for my strong at map people, but some of you who really struggle with maps, maybe it'll help you to sketch out what the continents and oceans, where they are and what they look like, rather than finding them. Maybe by drawing them, we'll recognize them a little better. So we're going to start with North America. Here's Alaska, North America, Mexico. We're going to do South America here. It's a little hard to do without holding on, but that's a terrible South America. Gulf of Mexico, there's Florida, going up the East Coast, Long Island, Canada kind of like that, Hudson Bay, and across. Greenland. We'll do some Europe. There's Scandinavia, the Boot, Balkan Peninsula, Africa coming around like this, Red Sea, Arabian Peninsula, India, China. I still made Asia too small. Maybe I should do Asia first next time. Japan, Australia, Antarctica. There is a reason for all this, I promise you. Now let's do a little ocean labeling practice. Pacific, Atlantic, Arctic, Indian. The Pacific is over here again. It's on both sides because it's not really sides. It's all connected. The world is round. The Southern Ocean. That's it. 5 oceans. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 continents. We did it. Now the reason for all this. We're going to talk about, and if you've done if you've done the assignment so far, you already know this, but just a little bit of why, because history isn't really about what and when, it's about why. So, we're going to talk a little bit about the land bridge. About 20,000 years ago, it was you had an ice age period, polar ice caps expanded, freezing more of the world's water, which meant the oceans dropped. And what happened is over here, it's also over here, because this is the same place, this area here, that is often referred to as Siberia. It is northeastern Russia. This area here, that is Alaska, the northwestern part of North America. So what happens is, because of this lowering of the seas and extension of the polar ice caps, about 20,000 years ago, a land bridge basically came into existence, connecting Asia and North America. And what happened is, we don't know for sure, there weren't any surveillance cameras, but what we think happened is a bunch of humans who were nomads chasing the herds, following food, crossed the land bridge into the Americas. They didn't know they were in a new place, they were just following food. Found themselves in a new place. They didn't know it was a new place. They were just following food. The ice age ended. The ice caps receded. The oceans rose. The land bridge went away. And that is where we got the Native American population. And over time, these folks spread throughout the Americas in all sorts of directions. Like that. Now the thing is, 20,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago was when you have the early transition between Paleolithic and Neolithic. So Old Stone Age to New Stone Age. And something we kind of skipped, I mentioned it, but I didn't emphasize it. There's a period that anthropologists call the Mesolithic era. And the Mesolithic period, or Middle Stone Age, was where humans started figuring out how to farm, but weren't really settling into permanent cities yet, weren't organizing religions and setting up complex governments and all those things that we talked about with the 9 elements of civilization. But they are starting to farm and settle. So where is that happening? Not surprisingly, the places we've already talked about, like Mesopotamia, Egypt, Harappa, China, Persia, a little bit later, Phoenicia, the Sudan and Ethiopia, the Balkan Peninsula, the Roman Empire comes a little later, but these are the areas, the places that we've already talked about, where civilization starts to develop early on. You'll notice that where those northern Russian nomads were, there wasn't civilization yet. They were still hunter-gatherers. So the first people who crossed over into the Americas were hunter-gatherers. They were not Mesolithic, they were Paleolithic, even though they're into the beginnings of the Mesolithic period. So why I mention that is that they come in running behind time-wise. So they move around throughout the Americas, in most cases remain nomadic, but what happens is in a few locations in the Americas, especially Central America, you know what, I did not draw in the Yucatan Peninsula, and that is important. There it is, Yucatan Peninsula. In Central America, also called Mesoamerica or Middle America, in Mesoamerica, and a little bit later in the Valley of Mexico and in the Andes Mountains, you are going to see civilizations develop. You're going to see societies starting to advance and develop those 9 elements of civilization: the complex government, the complex religions, the designed buildings, in most cases the written language. So they're going to develop those, but they're running later than the folks over here. And so I just wanted to mention that. So you've got this land bridge 20,000 years ago, the migration of the native peoples all throughout the Americas, and starting in Mesoamerica and a little later in the Valley of Mexico and in the Andes Mountains region, you're going to see the development of early American civilizations. I'm going to stop that here right now, get it onto the Google Classroom and try out the new YouTube page, and then I'm going to get to my other jobs for the day. So there will be another video. It'll be a lot closer for you guys than it will be for me, I think. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.